Welcome to Dawn of a Story. This is more than a podcast. It's a place where we speak the truth, tell the stories that shape us, and honor the moments that made us who we are. I created the space because I believe storytelling is how we connect, how we heal, and how we remember who we are. Some stories are still being written. Some are full of laughter. Some have changed everything, but all of them matter. Whether it's my story or one of my guests, my hope is that you hear something that resonates, that reminds you that you are not alone and encourages you to tell your story too. So settle in because every story starts somewhere, and this one starts now. Thank you for tuning in and welcome to Dawn of a Story. I'm your host, Dawn Pascal. I'm so very grateful you decided to spend your time with me and my guest this week, TH Irwin. Every show, we will be exploring a new theme, and this week's theme is When I Knew It Was Time. Life has a way of presenting us with moments where we have to choose, stay the course, or step into something completely unknown. These forks in the road aren't just decisions. They're turning points that can redefine who we are and how we live. Today, we'll explore those moments with my guest as we unpack the choices, the doubts, and the courage it took to choose a new path. So let me tell you a little about my guest. TH Irwin is a marketing leader, speaker, and creator renowned for her brand strategy expertise and thoughtful engagement design. She co-founded X Experts, a platform where she co-hosts the Divorce Etc. podcast, helping listeners demystify and reclaim life after separation through shared experience and wisdom. TH also developed the Women's Leader Archetypes, guiding women professionals to lead with emotional intelligence and authenticity. As an author, facilitator, and trusted mentor, she empowers others to pivot their careers and lives with clarity. So without further ado, let's get started. Hey, TH, so happy to see you. How are you?
Oh my God, that was an awesome intro.
Thank
I had to get the transcript on that. Thank you so much, Dawn.
Thank you, TH. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy to see you.
I mean, do you remember how we first met? I
I
think you stalked me a little bit, but it
I
worked.
do. I do. Yes. Yeah. Do you want to share with everybody how we met?
Well, you tell them how you found me.
Well, so I was working for the Chamber of Commerce at the time, and I was doing events in Hoboken. And obviously, at the time, this was all volunteer. And I was leading and chairing up the Women in Business Council. And I saw that TH had these fabulous Women for Women programs. And I was like, I will be damned if I don't get this to come to Hoboken or Hudson County or Jersey City. And there you go. So persistence is key.
So Dawn reached out to me, and I don't remember if you came to one of them or you just reached out to me, but you're like, how can I get this in my area? And we looked at all different
Right.
venue options and spaces. That's the only way I know anything about Jersey City is from our little tour, however many years ago that
That's
was.
right, and we did it at
And
St. Peter's.
did it at St. Peter's. Didn't we have Hoboken Girl there? Didn't we have Jen there
We
from
did, we
Hoboken
probably
Girl?
did, yeah.
Yeah. It was a great venue. And, the pillars of Women for Women were empower, connect, inspire, learn. And obviously, it had an impression on you to then pay it forward and do something bigger. Listen, when you open yourself up to the world, look at what happens.
Right.
We've basically been friends for at least 10
Yep,
years,
easily. Yes,
right?
yes.
And how awesome is that? That I'm in your arsenal, you're in my arsenal, and look at what we're doing together.
Right.
It's really amazing when women come together.
Right. And I absolutely feel blessed. And I've said this before. I'm blessed to have such wonderful, strong, empowering women in my network and in my circle as friends and as supporters and guides, because here you are with me now. This is a completely new foray. As people hopefully know now, I've recorded a whole bunch of episodes. Actually, I've recorded many episodes, and yeah, we're taping this 2 days before my fourth episode goes live. So here we are. I mean, this is,
Fabulous.
yeah, no, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Fabulous.
All right. So take me back to the moment when you realized you were standing at a crossroad at your life.
So I didn't really have a choice but to deal with it. I mean, I feel like we stand at a lot of crossroads in our lives. Do you actually deal with it,
Right.
or do you just retreat and go the other way? So I would say probably the best day of my life. And I don't, you can all tell me what you think after in your comments, but the best day of my life was the day I knew I wasn't married anymore.
Wow.
I did not have to stay with this man anymore. That goes down as the single best day. I got a phone call on May 8th, which was a Thursday, 2008 at 2:21 in the afternoon in Tenafly, New Jersey, picking up my son from carpool. I mean, from the twos to take him to karate to then go pick up my girls who were in elementary school after a day's work.
Right.
And I felt like, oh my God, this is the first time I can breathe. And I knew it. 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 But I was afraid to face it.
Sure.
And now I got a phone call that basically set me free.
Wow.
And I told the woman who called me that she saved my life that day. That was my knee jerk reaction. You just saved my life. And good luck to you.
Wow.
But that was it. And I didn't know what was ahead of me. I didn't know anything. I just knew I am out of this marriage. This has been an emotionally abusive marriage. I don't even know who I am.
Mm.
I don't even know what color I like. I don't even know how to make decisions of my own unless it comes to the kids. And I've been fully robotic for 4 years. And now I just had the best deep breath of my life.
You were
So
liberated. You were fully
in
liberated.
so many ways. I was liberated in terms of a relationship, but I was liberated to think freely. I was liberated to realize that what my gut was eating at me at was right. I'm not crazy.
Wow.
I was liberated in owning who I am. I mean, there's so many, anybody listening going through, you know, the end of a relationship that's toxic, whether it's work, family, or marriage. I mean, you know how I feel. So what did I do? Unbeknownst to me then, but I now looking back know from that moment on, I said yes before no. Because for years in that marriage, TH, do you want to come out to dinner? No, I've got something going on. TH, da da da, no, no, no. And then I was lying to people and lying to
Oh
myself.
gosh.
Well, he's not around. Well, this, well, I mean, the lies, I can't even, it's hard to keep up with a lie anyway. But when you're living a lie, I mean, you just say no because you don't want to be caught in your lies. So, um, that was a huge life-changing moment for me, for myself, for my relationship with my mother in particular, for my validating my value.
Right.
I am worth something,
Right.
and it's actually a lot. And then learning how to unravel all those negative patterns over the years was just kind of like, am I allowed to curse on the show?
Sure, you can if you want.
Oh,
Why not?
I was like, holy fucking shit. Sorry, that was a lot of curses, but it warranted it. I was like, the extent of the lies and the deceit. And so I'm out, but I'm literally like floored every day at the history of bad things. And then currently, like, how the hell did I marry this guy in the first place?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? So I'm not crazy, but there's clearly something wrong here. So I think the journey that anybody goes through for whatever reason, sickness, health, loss, and you take a minute and you kind of look at the world through literally new lenses, you have a choice. You can move forward in a healthy way
Mhm.
or repeat the same patterns. It's very simple.
Right. Why didn't you trust your gut? You mentioned.
I was afraid,
Yeah.
purely fear. And fear comes from not having the knowledge.
Right.
So if you're not educated, if I were educated that if I divorce him, I wouldn't be a bad mom and I wouldn't have the reputation of ruining a family unit, I wasn't even worried about the money and all the other stuff he threw at me. I didn't even know to worry about that. I just didn't want to be a bad mom. And the gaslighting about me being a bad mom had already permeated in my brain for years. So if I divorce him, then I'm really a bad mom.
Yeah.
Fear.
Right.
Fear is what paralyzes us all the time.
It does. It does. And I've spoken about fear with several other guests. Yes, how fear can be completely crippling, even fear of success. So, even the
Right?
fear of, I'm going to get out of this, but how am I going to be able to survive? Right. Or fear of, oh, well, maybe it's easier to stay with him. And I don't know if this was something that came up in your head, but maybe it's easier to stay with him because it's sort of the devil you know as opposed to the devil you don't know. But
It was really, it was the fear of not knowing what was on the other side
right,
of I want a divorce.
right,
What is there? Well, what's there is lawyers who are really expensive and a whole team that's really expensive. And how was I going to do that?
right,
And I didn't even know what to ask a lawyer or anybody else. I knew nothing. So the fear of all of it on the other side, I kind of always knew that I could work and I could do those things. I'm highly educated and I
right,
really like marketing and branding and all those beautiful accolades you gave me at the beginning. But am I still going to be a good mom?
right,
Because at the end of the day, it's me and my kids,
right,
right? Now we're a foursome.
right.
So, yeah.
How did that decision to move forward in a positive way, putting yourself first, because that's another theme that has come up many times, how we even prioritize ourselves in the list of all the things that we have to do. I spent years being at the bottom, if wasn't even in the negative space. So how did that shape the other things that you were working on in your life? How did it permeate everything else?
I was it was literally a rebirth. I mean, I just had the most amazing therapist at the most amazing time. So she was able to identify that he is a clinical narcissistic
Oh,
sociopath. And the only reason is because somebody like that, when they feel they're going to lose everything, all of a sudden becomes the perfect angel.
yep.
He really thought we were going to get back together. So I was able to, dictate some rules, which was a change. I said, we're going to meet with this woman and she's going to tell us how to tell the kids. So you can either come or you can be quiet when I tell the kids.
Wow.
But I knew that I didn't want my voice to be behind it. They were 8, 6, and 4. I didn't know what they were to remember, and there is no perfect conversation about this, by the way. And there is no one conversation about this, but the first conversation has a lot of pressure around it. And so this therapist really helped me undo bad patterns. So he came with me to her and then he left early and she pulled me back and she said, "Do you know what a narcissist
Mm,
is?" I'm like, "No." "Do you know what a sociopath is?" I'm like, "Well, is that somebody who kills people?"
right.
I don't know. And she said, "Well, you are in a relationship with somebody with that diagnosis." And she said, "I've been meeting with you for almost a year. And I know you know how to speak and express yourself. And for this last 45 minutes, your body language and your lack of vocal
Mhm.
contribution, you're a different person. You were in a shell. I don't even know who you were. So we have to work on all of this." So through that whole journey of working on it, I was discovering myself. It was a great time of discovery, good and bad.
Right.
Look, I enabled bad behavior from him.
Mhm.
I didn't stand up to him.
Right.
I didn't demand more. And I let him get on the plane, or at least didn't give him a hard time about not being around because it was better if he wasn't around.
Right. Right.
I liked it when he wasn't around. When he was around, I was sick to my stomach and I was just, I put up like a mental armor. So it didn't really matter what he said. I didn't hear anything, good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
That's not a way to live.
No, it's not.
So the whole journey really helped me uncover what I like. I joke a little bit that during the last several years of my marriage, my color palette was Gap uniform: blue, gray, beige, white. That's pretty much it.
Is that because that's what he liked?
It doesn't matter. He just didn't like anything about me. And so I had no
Ugh,
opinion. So I dressed
To
was a
disappear.
reflection of me.
Yeah, right, to
I didn't have a
disappear.
personality,
Right,
basically, is what I'm saying. And
right.
I'm a very, you know, personable person.
You are a colorful person, if I would
I
say.
am. And so now I wear bright pinks and
Right,
orange and yellow and bright orange. I don't care how bright it is, my favorite color. My mother always hated the color purple until like, I don't know, I've been separated 17 years, maybe like a year afterwards. I go, you know what? The color purple looks pretty damn good on me. I think I'm going to wear purple. And so, really owning what I like, I had been raised and told what to do and not to do, as we all are by our parents
right,
trying to guide us.
right,
But I really didn't have a say in a lot of things. I just didn't. And that's okay. And it doesn't mean all people ended up like me. But then I married somebody who also didn't give me a say in anything.
right,
But along with that, really made me feel shitty about everything.
right,
Everything. I mean, it didn't matter. I got a job, you don't make enough money. I got a master's, you didn't do well enough. I started a home business, be a good thing if you made money. Um,
yeah,
my
nothing's ever
son
good
was
enough.
52 pounds. And when are you going to lose the weight? I mean, I don't know. It's my third kid, 9 months, get pregnant. I
Right,
don't know. You think I want to be 52 pounds heavier? I mean,
right,
not like you look beautiful. You're a great mom. Just never lifting me up, always just crushing me, even just because. So anyway, so through the journey, the discovery of me, who I am, do I like the things my parents told me to like, or do I not?
right.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't. How do I figure out who I am? What brings me authentic joy? And so that's really what it's been. It's been a marvelous discovery. Even today, I mean, if you can leave yourself open to the world, you're going to discover something great about yourself every single day. And it's awesome.
And it's so unfair to think that we allow ourselves to be put in that box because that is safe and controlling for that other individual. I also had a not so great relationship with a boyfriend many, many, many years ago. And slowly but surely, I completely lost myself. And it was about 3.5 years. And I made that decision because I left his apartment in Manhattan and was living in Hoboken at the time and took the ferry home. And I said, do I literally need a brick to fall out of the sky to hit me on the head to
Maybe.
realize,
Yeah.
like, good God, Dawn, wake the hell up. What is the matter
It's
with you?
validation.
Yeah,
You just needed someone to say what you're thinking
right.
is spot on.
Uh,
And we don't know what we don't know.
yeah, right.
And
Exactly.
another thing I do know is part of my pivoting and evolution and all that, I'm sure for you too, is giving yourself grace.
Yes,
We're not
right.
perfect. We're not know it alls. I'm not an expert in personality disorders. I don't even know what the F that is.
Right.
I just know that I married a guy when I was young. I definitely wasn't ready to get married. I do believe that. But then I got into the thing. Well, you got engaged and
Right.
he works at a bank and he's got a good family and
Right.
he's Jewish. And so you go and you marry and it's 5 years and you have kids and then you get your
Right.
master. You're just caught up in this line of expectation. And what I do like to see these days, because my daughter's 25, my daughter was with the nicest guy who loves her completely for 2.5 years. And she just broke up with him.
Wow.
She so wanted him to be the one, but he's not.
Yeah.
And she was brave to say, I love you, but you're not my person for my life. And I know that I could not have done that.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of her, even though I'm going to miss him because he's such a doll, but he's better off for it. He doesn't want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with him.
Right.
And she misses her best friend. That's the problem with a breakup.
Right.
That's not like, well, you did this and you did that. Like they're fabulous together, just not fabulous enough.
Right. Right.
And so she is a much better version of who I was then. And I like that at least my kids are talking through things that are upsetting them, they're not sure of. Just because I said it doesn't mean it's the way it is,
Right.
which is how we grew up,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
The term was because I said so,
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
right? Why? Because I said
Yeah.
so.
Right.
I don't owe you an explanation. I said so, so do it.
Right.
So now it's a conversation, and my daughter and other young people I know are owning educated decisions and not just being swayed by what's on. I'm sure there are plenty swayed on TikTok and Instagram, but in my family tribe, they're asking questions. They saw our divorce.
Right.
They don't want to be in that spot. And then they see me now really happy and they want that, not what was.
Well,
So,
and that's kudos to you too. You got to take some credit, TH, in that your daughter saw and
yeah,
learned from the experience that she saw her mother go through, but that she also went through to a
yeah,
certain extent, to then apply that to make the right decision that felt good for her.
yes.
What
Yeah,
in her gut felt good, if you want
right.
to say it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. We are, like I said before, we're not perfect. And going through the divorce and all the things, I made tons of mistakes as far as my kids were concerned, but they called me out and I did not shut them out because they
Good.
called me out.
Good.
I heard them and I said, I'm really sorry. I've never done this before. And sometimes I get pissed off. I'm a human. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I laugh at the wrong time. It just is what it is.
Right.
So I'll take accountability where it matters, but they have seen the most authentic version of myself. We posted a video on our Instagram of me dancing at my niece's bat mitzvah, and I am as carefree as a girl could be.
Aw.
If you watch me, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, what are those dance moves?" I literally did not care. The music's playing. I got dancers I'm dancing with, and I don't
Yeah.
care.
It's
I
good.
literally don't care.
It's really good to feel free, right? Free and
It's
comfortable and
comfortable in your skin.
right, right. So
Yep.
how did all of this then shape the direction and path that you started to take?
Well, from the moment I got that phone call, I said yes before no to opportunities. That's it. TH, do you want to try? Yes. I mean, I'm not talking about like smoking
Right.
crack. I'm talking about things that would scare you because it
Yeah,
feels like you're not capable of it.
right,
So I learned to say yes before no. So, TH, do you want to start an events division in a traditional media company? And I said yes. I got 3 kids under 8 at the time. I could figure it out. I love a party.
right.
I go, I love a party. So I did. He goes, great, make a presentation. Made a presentation, presented to everybody, and they hired me. And I ended up loving it. In-person engagement. I I I can't explain the joy. Like, picture you're making a dinner party.
Mhm.
Let's start small, right? I'm having a dinner party, I'm having 10 people over. I put in all this effort. I do the menu, I do the table. Place looks beautiful. And then you're looking around the table and everybody's laughing or engaging in conversation. And then they walk away and they're like, I just had the best night.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
it's a
Because
great
if you didn't
feeling.
have the dinner party, I would not feel this way right now, nor would I have this memory.
Right, right,
And it came with a business strategy, but then it evolved into something I'm doing now where I've refreshed the experiences I created in the past for media companies because I'm the only one who knows how to do it because I was the only one into my new voice, into the way that I want to elevate and support women figuring out who the hell are you?
right, right.
I don't want a label. I don't even want to know your name. What's your superpower word? And when I ask people that, the first thing is kind, considerate, connector, empathetic.
Hmm.
I go, those are all great, but that is not your superpower word. So think on it because your superpower word, you can probably answer this, but no pressure if you can't. Um, is the one word that describes the superpower that allows you to serve yourself best.
I know what mine is.
Okay, what is it?
Authenticity.
Yes. So when we meet, I'm not going to ask your name. I'm going to say, "Hi, Authenticity. I'm Creator. Nice to meet you. Show me why you're authentic.
Right.
Tell me the way it is." And for me as a creator, I have had bumps in the road with my health, with my career, with my relationships. And what I have found looking back is that I have created a positive environment for me to then grow and basically curate myself in. And so now I do that for other people with in person experiences. And I was doing that before, but I was doing it for somebody else. And then when I started X Experts and then TH Experiences, this has been a journey for me, the girl who was always in the back. And if you remember when we did that women's event,
Mhm.
I had somebody moderating. I was just like
You brought it all
the
together. Right.
planner girl,
Right.
but
Right.
my name wasn't anywhere.
Right.
That event never would have happened if it weren't for my brain. So now I take my role, an active role in what I do because I'm proud of what I've created and I am unapologetically going to shout it from the rooftop
Yeah.
because I didn't get here
And
easily
own it. And own
and
it.
own it.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
I always joked I had a whole career in human resources and I was always involved in the information systems side of HR. I didn't do the hiring, firing, I didn't do the compensation benefits and all that other kind of fun stuff. And there was a term when I was first coming up in the business that was called WYSIWYG, right? What you see is what you get. And when people have asked me throughout the years, can you describe yourself? And I say, WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So to me, that's my connector to being authentic because I think that people can pretty much say, if you've been in my life and in my circle, that's what you get. When you talk to me, when you ask me for, guidance, help, support, direction, whatever it is, what you see is what you get.
Right. Otherwise, don't
But
ask.
otherwise, see you
If you don't
bye.
want to hear the answer, then don't ask the
That's
question.
exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly
Right.
right.
But look at where you are now. I mean, have you done any shows where you're really revealing like your other business that you created through
Yes.
your passion and your
Yes.
I mean, you guys, if you're listening to a dawn of a story, it's a dawn of a story. I mean, I've known this woman and when you make a great connection
Yes.
is when someone just comes out of years. We haven't spoken in
Yep.
years. But I always think of you so
Aw.
fondly and in such high regard that I'm always going to be open to you calling me.
Well,
Like what a nice, beautiful gift you just gave me.
likewise, TH, likewise. You were on my short list when I thought about who is somebody that I looked up to. Do you know how stinking impressed I was? Here I am volunteering for the chamber. I'm trying to do women in business council stuff. I'm presenting all of that, obviously, from an authentic place. I was a
Yep.
woman that just started a business, and I'm all about look, it's a tribe.
Yep.
You can't do this alone. You need support, even if it's, I need to cry on your shoulder. I was beyond impressed with the format of what you created that I was like, I need to be friends with her. And there are people that I've said this about my life where I have met them like 5 minutes and said, I'm going to be friends with that person for the rest of my life. And you are,
How lucky are we?
how lucky are
I'm
we?
so glad you reached out to me. I am.
Thank you.
Listen, it's also the people you surround yourself with.
Right.
That was another really important thing I learned coming out of my marriage, but also the relationships I had afterwards. I mean, is this somebody who lifts me up? Is this somebody who celebrates me?
Right.
I can't just celebrate them all the time. Like, is there room for me in this relationship? And that's friends too. I mean, I didn't really have to get rid of much trash in terms of friends after my marriage because they were all my friends,
Right.
but
Right.
I just saw people differently. And when I say take out the trash, like you got to be really trash because different friends serve different purposes. Like you said, someone is a shoulder to cry on. My best friends from high school, there were 7 of us. I could call any of them anytime and they will be there. My friend from Seattle was going to fly in when I had breast cancer,
Yeah.
which I was like, fly in from Seattle? No, 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 no. Come here and we'll go hike when I'm better.
Right.
But the people come out and want to help you. And it's important that you also serve that to others. For those people who are willing to do for you, check on them.
Yeah.
Just send a note. I mean, nobody does that anymore. And certainly no one who picks up the phone. I'm all about the phone and text now.
Yeah.
I'm over the email
No,
nonsense.
me too. Me too. Look, my parents always said to my sister and I, if you want to have a friend, you have to be a friend. So if you really want to keep people in your life, then you have to be a friend as well. And again,
Yep.
to me, when I think about that in a multitude of different ways, it also brings up for me that it's not just that one funnel of, oh, okay, so I happen to be more of a giving person, or I happen to be the one who always connects everybody together. Okay. But I also don't just want people in my life that are only going to be the receivers.
Right.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And
And it's hard.
of course
I
it's
have a
hard.
friend who just moved to Sarasota. She is my I've known her since I was 26 years old, and I'm not 26 anymore. We haven't been talking as much because she's got a whole new life down
Right.
there, and and it makes me very sad.
Yeah.
But on my end, I need to also manage my expectations. Like, you're not calling me every day. Like, we're not talking all the time. Like, I miss it, but I can't be mad at her because she's trying to make new friends, build a new life. It's not because she doesn't want me in it. It's just, it's not an everyday thing anymore. Like, things shift.
Right.
So you have to also manage your expectations with your friends. And I'm not saying you should ever be a doormat, but if there's stuff going on, communicate it. I miss you. I miss you. I miss our friendship. And if she says, I miss you too, then you're good. And if she's like, well, screw you and hang up, well, then you're done.
Well, then
So,
there's your answer. Right. Well,
yeah, yeah,
and so much of that, the open lines of communication is just really so key when you're doing everything. When
yeah,
you're organizing all of those women events, when you're choosing the people to be on the panel, are they of the same mindset of, I want to make sure that what I'm communing is clear and direct? I have absolutely no problem having a conversation that might be difficult with
yep.
someone, and it's not being confrontational, it's confronting. And there's a really big difference between those two words, but I'm not going to go down that road. That's a whole separate topic.
But it
And
is important to point that out because the way you deliver a message determines the way it's received.
absolutely.
So think thoroughly about how you say things. I have also learned to start with a compliment and a strength and then follow with, this is what's annoying me.
Right.
I love you so
Yeah.
much and I'm concerned about our friendship. So can we talk about something that's bothering
Yeah.
me?
And a key word
Instead of,
also,
I'm fucking pissed at you
right?
because you suck. Yeah, that probably won't go well.
Yeah, and the word "but." I do not like the word "but."
Ah,
I really, really, really make a very, very conscious effort not to use the word "but." So to your point, start out with a, "Hey, I noticed that you did X, Y, and Z today. That is great. I'm so happy that you did that. And let's talk about,"
yeah,
instead of saying, "but you didn't do blah, blah, blah," because everything
right.
that you just said 2 seconds ago has just been thrown
Goes
out, right,
downhill.
goes right out the window. Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So you asked me about the women I pick on the panel. So I've refreshed Women for Women. So the series I used to do and the series that I do today still has the same 4 pillars: empower, connect, inspire, learn. It is still for every woman. It seems like most events really cater more to working women, entrepreneurs. My experiences are for every woman and I've had that feeling from the very beginning. The Women for Women series actually started as a career fair. So when
Mhm.
I started working for the media company, they had a career fair and there were no women and the men were there in 3-piece suits hoping for a job at a convenience store. So I was like, this is awful. I mean, no one's getting any, and the employers aren't finding anybody here because this isn't even the
Wow.
right match. So that's when I said, I want to do something for women. And it was actually one of the first female focused public facing events of its scale at that time
Mhm.
in my market. So we brought in women who are influential in the community and in business, and some celebrities and all of that. And the editor of the magazine moderated it. Now I moderate. The topic is always based off of my own experience. So this past year, the topic was permission to pivot, because I gave myself permission to pivot away from ex experts, focus 100% on my own business, TH experiences, and go put all in, like both feet, both hands, whole body in. Let's go. So I refreshed it now with the same pillars, but the women who speak are mentors.
Mhm.
And I identify them that way because I want the audience to engage back and forth. This is a learning experience. I don't need talking heads. You've got podcasts and YouTubes and every like directional teaching
Mhm.
book out there.
Right.
Don't you want to hear from somebody who you can relate to? Like, wow, that makes sense. Or she's got 3 kids, that makes sense. Or she doesn't have kids and she did this. Or she just traveled and didn't care.
Right.
I mean, wow,
Right.
that's novel.
Right.
I can relate to that.
Right.
So I look for, first of all, women who wow me. Like you were saying, there's an energy here. So you wow me.
Oh.
If I find women who wow me, that's a potential mentor,
Right.
because I know that I've worked so long and hard to be at my level, but there are a lot of women who want to get there and need to see another woman and say, I get it, Dawn. Thank you for sharing that information with me. I am going to do this.
Right.
Isn't that fabulous?
That is
So it's a room filled with mentors. It's give and take. You come and you don't write your name on your name tag. You write your superpower word. And then you go on a scavenger hunt and you meet women who had a crazy dream last night, a woman who loves to run marathons. There's got to be one in the room or maybe none in the room.
right.
But I break the ice for you. All you have to do is show up.
Yeah.
And I will give you the talking points to make friends, to make connections that are meaningful, and to really absorb everything that you showed up, not even knowing you were going to get out of it. And that's what Women for Women today is all about now.
So, how has all of the decisions that you've made impacted all of the future decisions that you make? And I know what you're going to say, but the courage that you have now, even to pivot again from ex experts to do TH experiences, that takes courage, woman. It does.
I have to tell you, it's like a weird thing. And it's definitely from my parents, weird in a good way, by the way.
Okay.
Um, I always thought I was going to be okay, except in, leaving my marriage. That was just like so big. But ever since then, I felt like whatever decision I make, I'm going to be okay.
Hmm.
Like, what's the worst thing? I don't get the job for the events division. What's the worst thing? I don't get a job at Suburban Mama.
Right.
What's the worst thing? I'll get another job.
Right.
What's the worst thing? And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, my mother is a survivor. So I kind of knew, I'm like, at some point in my life, these boobs are going to change. And so I've been screened since I'm 28. And so it happened, and I was stage 0, and I was very fortunate, and I have all the resources and access and doctors, and how lucky am I?
Right.
So I go in for my double mastectomy, direct implant nipple sparing for all of you who know, and they punctured my lung. They gave me a nerve block and they punctured my lung.
What?
And that was a shit show. But I had just started dating my boyfriend. I had been with him for 1 year. And he was in the hospital with me, and everybody's running around. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. If for anybody, I'm just telling you, there's no worse pain. I've birthed 3 children, And without an epidural, it would still be rainbows and
Oh
unicorns
God.
next to
Wow.
a puncture lung. So, and chest tube. And everyone's running around, and this man is next to me holding my hand and like
Mm,
comforting me, like
comforting you.
physically as close as he could be. It's all he could do. My parents were there. They weren't in the room. My brother was there. He wasn't in. Doctors weren't in the room.
Right.
I am reeling, and I have a high pain tolerance. And I have never had that in my life. And I was okay.
Right.
And I unfortunately had 9 surgeries in 4.5 years
Oh
because I
God.
kept getting an infection. I kept getting a thing, a thing, a thing. Nothing to do with the cancer. But the cancer is obviously what started it all. Those are the best years of my life. I've never been happier.
Wow.
He and I own a home together. We live together. We love each other completely, unconditionally. We are such great partners. I've never had a partner. I've never had a person who is there
Right.
like that
Right.
with me.
And
I mean,
lift
my
you up.
parents
And
do
lifts
that.
you up.
Celebrates me, but also guides me. Like I trust him. He respects me, he respects my decisions. I know this because I've been in a few relationships since my marriage. You meet people where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I met my husband. We were right out of college. I met him where I was, blah blah blah, and then we obviously didn't grow together in the right direction. And then I was in 2 other relationships that I had grown out of as I was going through this whole journey for myself. So as I was going through this journey for myself, and then had I met Frank a year earlier, it wouldn't have worked out.
Right.
It wasn't the right time.
Right.
I had to learn all of my lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I had to own the fact that I'm also responsible for my marriage not working. I had a voice that I didn't use for whatever reason. I didn't use it. Didn't use it. And I don't blame myself, but I do take some responsibility. I don't take any responsibility for all the shit he pulled. But as far as like however long that lasted, and then I was in another relationship and I was like, oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love you. I didn't even know what love was.
Yeah.
He gave me the bare minimum. I just wanted someone to tell me I
Mm.
was pretty.
Right.
And then now I have somebody who every day I can't wait to see. Every day I can't wait to hear his voice. When he calls, I smile every
Mm.
time. 7 years.
Yeah. And think
You have to
about
put in the work.
all that you had to get rid of to make the space for him to be there too.
100%.
Right.
We met at the right time for both of us, but I will tell you people, it takes work.
Right.
It takes looking at yourself, looking at your relationships. My mother loves me, but my mother raised me in a way that made me feel pretty shitty about myself most of my life
Mm.
until I confronted her.
Right.
And she only knew what she knew,
Right.
right? That's how she was raised. If
Right.
you're not pretty, you're not worth anything.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
So, and then I married somebody who brought in that message exponentially.
Right.
And so you are worth the work. You are worth the investment. Like Dawn and I said at the very beginning, you don't know what you don't
Yep.
know. So go and live it and learn it and own it
Right.
and be a messenger for it and elevate other people to do it. You know how good it feels when you walk down the street and you say hi to somebody and they say hi back and you're like, huh,
Yeah.
look at that. I just made his day. You made my day.
Right.
All he did say hi.
Right. Yeah.
Just something so simple.
Right.
Hold the door for
Right.
somebody. Don't just expect everyone to hold it for you. Hold it for them. Let them say thank you. And they're like, wow, that was so nice. She held the door for me.
And you
So unexpected.
And you'd be surprised how that perpetuates then throughout the rest of the day. You let somebody merge in front of you. So instead of getting road rage and flashing your lights and
Right.
getting all crazy, because I always say the only person that you're yelling at is yourself because you're in a car with the windows rolled up and you're cursing. I'm
And
cursing
you're
at
looking a
myself.
little like, off your
Yeah,
kilter. Yeah.
right. But you're only cursing at yourself because nobody else can
Right.
hear you,
Right.
only you. But
Right.
anyway, but you'd be
Right.
surprised
Right.
how just those little acts of kindness then start to ripple and and infiltrate the rest of your day, which then turns into weeks and months and years. And
And it's a training. It's a positive pattern for
Of
yourself.
course it is.
But again, I had to give myself a lot of grace because I am hard on myself. I chased perfection for myself, but that's like the silliest thing ever because there is no such thing as perfection.
Right.
There's what works for you.
Right.
And that's perfect for me, might not be perfect for you. So I would just say, like, really all these pivots, I've given myself permission to pivot. And it's interesting because when I was still like, well, I feel like a failure leaving X Experts. By the way, X Experts is 100% up and available to consume. And so is Divorce, etc. We're not taking it down. We're just not adding new episodes.
Okay.
And we just found out the other day that we are ranked in the top 1% of relationship podcasts globally.
Congratulations. That's amazing. What an
Yeah.
achievement.
And we haven't recorded an episode since January.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
But it's pervasive,
Right.
and you tell a friend and you tell a friend, and so we're doing good. And I would say that the way that I gave myself permission, I speak to two things. So I actually do some speaking engagements also. One is really understanding what your superpower is, owning it and protecting it, because you have to protect it
Right.
and you have to nurture it.
Hmm.
And the other thing is really giving yourself permission to pivot. There's one thing to trust your gut, but okay, so my gut's telling me to get out of this relationship. What's the plan?
Right.
Like, just because it says so, that's fine. That's the impetus. But now do your homework.
Right.
Do I need a lawyer? Do I interview multiple lawyers? How do I handle the schools? What do I tell my friends? How do I deliver the message to him that he's like, we're done?
Hmm.
So get your shit together. Let your gut be your little like, hello,
Guide.
hello, don't ignore me anymore. But get your shit together and then fly. So I talk about permission to pivot with starting a business in particular,
Hmm.
about what are you good at? Do you have the money for it? Do you have support for it? You were talking about support. I, as you know, am very type A. Um, so it took a while for me to find an assistant. First of all, it took a while for me to admit I needed an
Of
assistant.
course. Right.
And then I realized, okay, I need an assistant. But for me, hiring somebody outside of this country was not going to be an option.
Hmm.
I needed no language barriers. I needed to be in the same time zone. And actually, I just really needed someone with a marketing mind like me,
Hmm.
or someone who would understand my mind and be able to translate it. And so I did. So that's how I invested in myself, which is my topic for January of 2026. Investing in yourself, money, relationships, health, and time.
Amazing.
And what are you going to do with those pillars to invest in yourself? So many women don't know about money because you're afraid.
Right.
Well, they're going to make me feel stupid and I never handled the money and I don't understand. Okay, great. Let's start. We're going to meet where you are
Right.
and you're going to learn about the money, because guess what? If you don't have money, you got nothing. You don't have a roof over your head. You don't have food in your mouth. You don't have nutrition. You don't have health. So you have to have money in your life.
Right.
So do it in a way that makes you happy.
Right.
That's why these events now are so awesome for me, because I make enough money. I love what I'm doing. I'm spreading my creative tentacles everywhere. And I do have a coach for business, because sometimes I'm like, ooh, that looks really great. Ooh, let me learn about this. Ooh, that's a new, they say I can earn this. They say I could do this.
Hmm.
So she keeps me very intentional and on track with what I'm doing. And I find that investing in myself with a business coach and with an assistant has helped me really build a great business now.
That's unbelievable. And I'm so happy to hear all of the things that you're doing and how all of your past experiences helped you pivot. I just want to ask one question about forgiveness. How hard was it for you to forgive yourself? Because
For what?
I could talk
For
about how
what?
hard I was to in forgiving myself that the business was gone and that I made the decision to close the doors and I felt like I gave up and why didn't I do this and why didn't I do that? And yes, similar to what
As
you
opposed to, Dawn, saying you built a
I
business
know.
that nobody else had done.
Right.
You were the first vegan shop anywhere in this area. You broke a barrier and now you have a choice, right? You know better. So
Right.
you're going to do better or you're going to do better in a different way. I did better I took what I had done, which was proven,
Mhm.
and now put a fresher look on it. And it's worked.
Right.
You could still do that in a different way. Or look, people don't like to hear there's a lesson in this. But there is a lesson in our mistakes. And if you never fail, you never learn.
Right.
And I don't look at you at all as failing at all or needing to forgive yourself for what? You did something awesome.
Thank you.
Did something awesome. No one was doing it. It's scary. You were the only one who you talked to about it.
Right.
Nobody gets it. So
Uh,
you are a pioneer.
Aw,
You are. So
thank you.
own it.
Thank you.
And so that's why you're telling me, how do I forgive myself? And I'm asking you, what am I forgiving myself for? I didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
I didn't do anything wrong. Have I learned a ton? Yes. Have I learned a lot about relationships? Yes. Have I learned that I deserve boundaries in my life? Yes.
Right.
Am I still flying to Denver tomorrow to move my son into a place that he's getting the lease and the keys for on Wednesday?
Absolutely.
And I'll only be there for 24 hours? Yes. But that's my
Right.
choice.
Right.
And so I don't have to forgive myself for anything I've done in my life. If I have not served someone well, then I have apologized to them. But I really don't know who I've really hurt intentionally ever,
Yeah.
ever,
I'm
without taking responsibility.
right. Right. I mean, I'm also talking about forgiving yourself for being so hard on yourself as well, or forgiving
Right.
yourself for, hey, I wish that I maybe made that decision sooner, or how did I stay in that marriage for so damn long, or why did I let this person do X, Y, and Z? I also mean that kind of, and that's
Right.
grace. That's grace as well.
That's grace. And you can't shoulda, coulda, woulda all over
Yeah, no, I
yourself.
know. Oh,
You
absolutely.
can't.
I know.
You'll hurt yourself. So I can ask a million questions. The big question is how I'm not going to do that again.
Right. Right.
If you open another business, Dawn, similar to what you had, what are you not going to do going forward? And what are you going to do going forward?
Right.
That all goes back to the lesson.
Right.
So there's nothing I could do about the past. I think it's more of acceptance than forgiveness so you can move on.
Right.
I don't agree with it. And I still have to deal with my special acts. So I spoke to him today. It was very matter of fact. I have a way of handling business with him. I have trained myself.
Mhm.
I still need to have a conversation with him.
Right.
And so he never apologized to me.
Mm.
That's actually a bigger hang up for me.
Hmm.
How do you not apologize? How do you not apologize that when I told you I had cancer, you just said, okay, whatever? How do you, and then those are the reminders of how did I marry this
Yeah.
person? So the Divorce Etc. podcast was very therapeutic for myself and for my co-founder Jessica because we learned a lot about ourselves.
Sure.
And we were on a show and we were with the divorce doctor. And I said, he didn't say anything about like, well, I hope all goes well. He said nothing. And she goes, well, has he ever said anything in that way?
Right. Right.
The answer is no. Well, then why would he now?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on.
Right. Yeah.
Accepting who he is, dealing with him in a way that doesn't hurt myself or anybody else that I love, and getting what I need.
Right.
No forgiveness. No forgiveness. Acceptance, lessons learned, and forward thinking, and definitely some grace.
You are such a wise person. Yeah, unbelievable. And I could talk to you for hours, but
I know. So when are we having martinis?
okay. Yeah. So we got to get that on the calendar when you come back from Denver and
Yes, when I
after
come back
Labor
from my
Day, and
24 hours in Denver.
we're going to definitely make a plan. Okay. So before we go, I ask every guest the same question because I believe stories.
Oh, I thought that was the question.
No, that's not the question. This is the
Okay.
question. I believe
Okay.
stories leave behind so much about how we show up in this world. So, TH, what is one story, big or small, that you hope people remember you for?
A story like something that happened or just an interaction?
Anything,
So kind
interaction.
of how do I wanna be remembered
Mhm.
by people? That I made their day. I made them a little bit happier that day than they were the minute before.
Well, I know you've made my day by being here, and I'm so
Well, you made my
oh,
day, so
and I'm
this is why we're a power couple.
that's right. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. So, thank you for sharing everything that you've shared with us today. And thank you for being part of this story today. And thank you to everyone for tuning in to this episode of Dawn of a Story. If something you heard today moved you, made you laugh, or made you think, share it with someone you love. Please like and subscribe to the show. And if you're feeling brave, I'd love to hear your story by commenting below. It helps other story lovers find us too. And if you want to reach out to TH, you can contact her through TH at thexperiences.com. I will also put that in the show notes. Until next time, keep listening, keep sharing, and keep telling your story. Thank you, TH.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
What a joy.
Thank you.